You wanna know how I slay, I pray. Baby, it ain't luck, it ain't magic, it ain't fate. Everything you see on me is because I pray. You wanna know how I slay, I pray. You wanna know how I slay, I pray. We ain't just pretty around here, baby. We slay demons. Yeah, that's why we pray. They keep asking me how I'm winning. How my cup stay full and my light still shining. How my business growing.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Simply Winter M, the podcast. I'm Winter, and first of all, I just want to thank y'all so much for all the love and support that I received while I was out on vacation and break, going through my diabetic coma. I thank y'all so much for the love, support, and prayers I received through my family and friends while y'all graciously waited on me while I recovered. I want to welcome tonight to the podcast my brother Corey Cino. Conversations with Cino. What's up?
What's happening? What's happening?
It's so good to have you back. So
Hey,
tonight we gonna bring
congratulations.
to you all Corey's story, Broken but Healed, and the story of Jackie Soto. Corey, you her surviving brother. How did it feel for you when they ran the story in the newspaper that they had apprehended Jackie's uh the person who unalived her?
Yeah. Um, well, I didn't read it in the paper. So I was actually working with the detective since like last October. So my cousin called me, shout out to Bernard Jenkins. He called me and he was like, Man, I seen something in the paper, online where they got your sister's a cold case file open. So, cold case, whatever that means. So he sent me the link, and at the bottom they describe what happened. Any, of course, they say any person that knows anything about this case, feel free to, contact them. So I called the detective immediately, and and so we had been in contact since then. He had been kind of asking me, questions and things like that over the months. But I'm in my mind, I'm sitting there like, man, you know what? He was starting to really get on my nerves a little bit, just to be honest, because I'm thinking like, if you didn't contact me, y'all not doing a great job at investigating, because I was probably one of the closest people to her. But to answer your question, when he called me. I was having breakfast, and I missed his call, and I called him back, and he didn't return. He didn't answer, and then I called him back again, and he told me that they had they got they hadn't even arrested him yet. He told me they were just waiting on the paperwork to go get him, but they found the guy that they're going to prosecute, for the murder of my sister. So yeah, it was mind blowing. It was jaw dropping, heart dropping, mind blowing. Yeah, everything when he told me that.
So I don't know if you paid attention, but Jackie was number one in a string of five cold cases that Gary, Indiana cracked within a 2 week period. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it makes me feel good finally that justice is being served, and not just for me, but for other people as well. Um, I know that they're doing the best they can. It's amazing that they could solve a case 27 years later. You know what I'm saying? That they could go back and get all the details and people that's still alive, unalive. I didn't even know the guy would probably even still be alive, to be
Mhm.
honest. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that name had been kind of circulating throughout the streets, and things like that, and but there was a bunch of names. Everybody's a suspect. So yeah, that I was happy when we found out, and of course, my heart goes out to the other victims, because now people hit me up like, man, if they happen for me, it's giving people hope. I guess that's my point. It's giving people hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For those who may not have known Jackie and who she was just beyond being a victim in this case, tell us a little bit about her.
Man, you talking about I mean, that was my heart, man. You know, she got me out of, she saved my life. You know, she really spearheaded the situation to save my life. When I was 18, I got caught up, I was hustling and I got caught up. I was facing some years and my sister, she rode for me. Snoop Dogg song was out around that time. I think it was Murder Was the Case. And all she used to say was, I'm gonna ride for you, baby boo. If you remember that line,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ride for you, baby boo. So I was baby boo. She rolled for me. She put the bread up. She, saved my life. I was facing some serious charges, but lawyers and thank God ain't a scratch on me, and all because of my sister. So she was a loving, giving, caring person. But she was a G too. So don't mess with her. My sister. She was a lady, but she was in the street. No, not in the street, but I say in the street, but more she controlled everything. She controlled a lot. So she was in the game, I should say. So but sweet person, classy, just a boss. When I think about a boss, I think about my sister.
What was your fondest memory of Jackie?
You know what? Just it's so many, but you know, you know, so when I was 18, and when I got out of my situation, when she got me out of my situation, I went to live with her. So I actually lived with her and her husband. She was married. Shout out to my former brother-in-law, Ramy Soto. But so I went to live with them. And we had a big house in Miller, so we lived right on the corner, 12 and 20. So right on Fayette Street. So they lived upstairs and I had the whole basement. So I went working construction. And so imagine, you got three incomes. You got my income, her husband income, and then her income. So we we balling. You know what I'm saying? Like we got swimming pool. We anything you could think of. Like we live like, I mean, all my friends would come over. We just party. It just was a 24-hour night. I'm in my 20s, 18. I'm 18 to. I didn't really get focused on business till like 21. I bought my first house, bought my first income property at 21. But from 18 to 21, oh man, we party like so many parties, so much fun. It was just when I came home, it was just like when I got out of the situation, it was just a nonstop party. Like it was crazy.
You ready to break the ice?
Come on, let's go.
Let's go back to December 29th, 1998. What was that day like when you learned about what occurred?
Yeah, you breaking the ice, ain't you? You good, you good, you good at this. Um, I was with her the night before. She the house got raided in Miller Edna, whatever. House got raided, and she ended up moving to Buchanan Street. And if anybody, if you're from Gary, Fifth.
Mud, Jeff, Boosie.
Shout out to shout out to the brothers. Shout out to them. So she was around, in that area. But it almost reminds you of when the Carter. If you think of New Jack City, when the
Mm-hmm.
Carter got raided, and Nino had to move to like a little low key spot.
Mm-hmm.
It was that situation. Like to be, I can't even make it up. So she moved to the little spot, be kind of had it nice, my sister was always classy. So it was nice, like walking, nice. But I was with her that night, and so I picked her up. She really didn't drive a lot. So I picked her up and the night before, and it was like around December, around New Year's Eve, around that time. And we went by my mom's house. and it was a Sunday. I'll never forget it because, back then they didn't sell liquor, alcohol in Indiana on Sundays. So we went by my mom's house, and my mom had like some old beer, some old wine. She had like some beer, old stuff. So in that night, it's like we just kicked it, like me, her, and my mom. We kicked it, um, and it was so weird because we had never did that before. Like me, her, and my mom, we had beers, and we just laughed and talked, and like it wasn't nothing, and not knowing that was almost like her going her farewell party. I'd never seen her again. Um, and so, damn. And so, I,
Take it, time.
I got that call maybe like the next the next day, next morning, or that night or something. And I got that call, and it was I just couldn't believe it. You know, my whole world was gone. You know, this was like my mother, like a person that she saved my life, and it was my friends, my sister, my heart. You know, I know she loved me. So more than anything, she didn't have no kids, so I was like her son. You know what I'm saying? Like from growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like I always looked up to my big sister. I always looked up to her. Like she was that chick. You know what I'm saying? Just a boss. So yeah, it was and they told me what happened. Told me she was murdered. She was strangled with uh Christmas lights. It was around Christmas time, so he strangled with Christmas lights, and but thank God my sister fighter. She fights, so she had scratches on him. So they had. That's how they caught him because the DNA in her fingerprints matched. That situation. However it went. I don't know how technical they got into it, but she was scratching. So she didn't go out like no punk. You know what I'm saying? She went out fighting. But yeah, it was a day I definitely never forget.
Did her passing change your life forever?
You said, has that changed my life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was on another trajectory, anyway, you know, um, but, losing my sister, I don't have I don't have a lot of loss, thank God. Like my dad died, he's 87. My mom, she 84. I mean, so people live like so I'm not used to loss. So that was like the first loss close to me that, I ever experienced. And even to this day, I mean, not really a lot of loss, like, not expected, like early expected. Like my dad died, I mean, he 87. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Irvin Woods. That's my heart too, hurt me too. But to lose somebody that soon in life was, definitely life changing. But I can say she changed my life anyway. Like, so it wasn't nothing that happened after her death because I was already on a whole nother pathway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It just made me go harder and dedicate things to her and keep on my heart. You know what I'm saying? But I had plans for us that changed because I had plans for us. It's like she was supposed to be involved with a lot of the stuff that I had planned for us. So yeah, that's the only thing that changed.
So let's try to get off into the way the criminal justice system in Gary went about things. Let's do that a little bit. Did you ever feel like Jackie wasn't receiving the justice that her case deserved and the attention that the police department should have been paying it? And is there a reason why?
Yeah, I do, but I get it because around that time, Gary, murder capital. I mean, it's people. You got hundreds of people dying every single year. Um, Drugs was, that's the time when just Gary was just. I mean, murders were just happening, and I know that detectives and all. I know that caseload is heavy and all that. So, and I know, and we don't have money. You know, we're not the quote unquote the wealthy. So of course, the emphasis is not going to be on her death, like somebody famous, or you know what I'm saying, or even somebody at this. I mean, somebody white that had that situation. You know, maybe it would be different. But yeah, I definitely think her case was just shoved in a pile like so many others, and you just label it as drug related, you
For
know.
nearly 3 decades, you and your family have lived with unanswered questions. What has that experience been like?
Um, I got to a point where I just let it ride. I just made my peace with it. Um, I made my peace with it. And that's why the detective was kind of getting on my nerves a little bit, because I'm like, man, y'all ain't did nothing in this amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you finna do now? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking they just, you know, wasting my time and opening up wounds that I had closed. So uh that's just how I felt, you know.
Did you ever feel like it ain't never gonna get no justice?
I did. Because I'm a man, like my faith now is so strong. It's almost like if I don't get you, God, you got to answer to God for this one. So whoever you are, whoever did it, you know, hey, that's on you. I wash my hands. I'm like, whoever did it, because you know, until you don't know. So a lot of people are suspects. It's like if somebody breaking your house, you're gonna be looking at everybody, the neighbors, the person walk by, the mailman. You're gonna be everybody's a suspect until you actually know. You know what I'm saying? So instead of me wrecking my brain and trying to think about who's there, who she knew, who could have done it, I'm like, just let me leave it alone, bury it. I'm cool. God got it. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I put it in God's hand.
After waiting for so long, though, what was that internal feeling? Was it shock? Was it relief? Was it anger? Frustration? You know what I mean? Like, what
Yeah.
was that ball of emotion that you felt inside? Like, I want to mess this dude up. Like, now that I could put a picture, put a face on it. Like, what
Yeah.
what was that feeling like for you inside?
You know what? Um, it's kind of like it's it, I had to take a week off work. I really had to take a week off work. It was almost like having a funeral all over again. Like I had to like decompress all of this emotion, anger. I'm happy, but I'm sad. I was telling people, like, people calling, checking on me. Shout out to everybody who called, checked on me, show love. Um, thank you. But it was almost like the happiest moment for the worst situation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was definitely an emotional roller coaster. I'm happy, but I'm messed up as well. You know what I'm saying?
Um, so the face off, the trial happened. A victim's impact statement will need to be wrote. What do you think that will feel like for you? What do you anticipate facing off with him will feel like? Do you think you'll be able to do it?
Yeah, I gotta do it. Yeah, I gotta do it. I'm gonna do it. Um, you know what? I guess the older me, um, it's just gonna let justice, do what it's doing because they've done a good job, thus far, as of late, as of past 27 years. They're doing a good job now. So, I'm cool. I mean, y'all give him what he gonna get, give him whatever he gonna get, and I'm cool. Like, you skated for 27 years, bro. Like, ain't nothing I can do. I'm not finna, what I'm saying, go crazy and all that. Nah, I'm cool, man. We got your ass. So, you know, as my mama said, my mama, she old now. She say, good for his ass.
That was that that was my next question
Yeah.
is that since his arrest has brought a sense of closure to the journey, what does your mom feel like?
Yeah. Mom is older now. She in great mom's gonna be 84, man. So, I don't, she just at this point, she just happy to be alive. I really don't know. Like, every December, we get a little things get a little somber around that time, like the anniversary of her passing, right? Her death.
Mhm.
So around that time we have our own little silent like memorial for her. And of course on her birthday. Her birthday is like on Mother's Day, like May 10th. You know what I'm saying? So those two times a year always are kind of a little somber, a little sad, you know, for my mom and me. I don't know how my older brother feels. He kind of stern and he built a little different. But I know for me, um, you know, it's always she's always thought of. She always in my heart for sure.
What questions, if any, do you all as a family feel like you still need answered about what happened to Jackie that day?
You know what? I like I know my sister, you know, um, and when you're involved in that life of drugs and dealing with money and around that time, you know, it comes with the territory, So, I can't say that, these things happen, you know, these things happen. So it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate when it happens. We see it all the time. It hits home when it happens to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like there's nothing new. It happens. So no, I don't have no questions. I knew she. We know the price we pay when we not doing the right thing, and unfortunately, she paid the ultimate price. So no.
During the criminal case, do you trust the prosecution to do what it is prosecutors does?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I mean,
Like you looking forward to them throwing a book? Or you feel like it'll be a mediocre prosecution based on the evidence?
in the words of the Clips, so be it, so be it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I ain't got nothing. I ain't prosecute them. Y'all found them. Y'all do what y'all need to do with them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You okay with whatever the outcome is?
I
Like,
mean, he damn near he old as hell anyway.
yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
saw that.
So as
I saw
long as
that.
he, get what they gonna give him, man. Hey, that's on the judge, whatever the crime. I mean, I have no
Because
control of.
I think he's approaching 60, late 50s, approaching 60. So if he get 30, job well done. So yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I ain't. I'm just glad. I ain't got to be looking at other people's side eye. You know what I'm saying? Like people that I probably had in my mind. Now I know who did it. I can rest well. You did it. And whatever the prosecutors, do, so be it. Um, probably, yeah.
The legacy, Jackie's legacy. What does that look like going forward now? I know we got the trial to look forward to, and once we get over that hump, woosah, we can officially have that it's done
Yeah.
moment. What does her legacy look like as we put this all to bed?
I mean, justice, justice. I just could say justice. Um, of course, I wish my daughter, me having a daughter now, um, I wish she could have been here to spoil her. And, she loved kids, she loved animals. My sister was almost kind of like a Michael Jackson type of person, like that spirit, like where you just love
Mm-hmm.
kids, you love animals. Like my niece is named after, my sister Jackie. So I have a niece named Jackie. Um, so and she's smart, and I'm so proud of my niece and my nephew and my great niece now. But yeah, so she's named after Jackie, so it's her namesake. So I talked to Jackie. She's in my, that's her, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and she lives with me. She gonna always be a part of me. You know what I'm saying? Always. Like, nah, I think about her all the time. I was looking at my daughter the other day, and I looked up and I'm like, I told my mom, I was like, she looked just like Jackie right there. My daughter just lost her two front teeth. So it's a picture of us, Jackie when she was younger, and my daughter looked just like her. So yeah, I mean, she gonna always live on. She gonna always be known. My family, all my family, knows her, loves her, my cousins and all that. She just was that boss chick. She got married at 18, had a big wedding, her husband had money. She had, she just always was that one. So, I'm her legacy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm riding for you. I'm a ride
That's
for you, baby boo.
Thanks, Doug. What would you say to other families who are still waiting for an arrest or answers in a cold case similar to you all's?
I mean, this may sound a little nonchalantish, but a little cliche-ish, but you just gotta let go and let God. You know, um, Patience has always been one of my virtues, and and yeah, just when you thought it was over, here come God with you know a surprise for you. So I would just say, let go, let God get, don't and get there. If it's bothering you that bad, get therapy. Like I've had to go through therapy. I'm an advocate for therapy, and even going through therapy, even my personal relationships, even my relationships with women, I would always compare those women to my sister, and I didn't know that. I just would always be like, if I'm dating somebody, or I've been married twice, and I would always think in my mind like, oh man, my sister would love you, like Jackie would love you. So I would always still seek her approval, even though she's gone. Even with my relationships, I would seek her approval, and I'm in my mind like, man, Jackie would love you, or Jackie would, I don't know, my sister probably kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, sis wasn't no joke. So even going through therapy, uh, the therapist was like, you've been basing your relationships off of, your sister. And so I had to really deal with that, and address that, and, just acknowledge that, and deal with it.
And this is how I became the sister.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
What would you, if anything, what would you like to say to the detectives who came after all these years and took on the case and did that work and made that extra effort to put an end to something that others before them could not solve?
You know, I look at people that have impact like that as angels, right? Um, People that you never met, you may never see him again, or whatever the case. And I'll probably see this guy when we go to court or something. But I'm just saying, like, these are people like are angels, right? And so that's how I see uh that whole that detective that was working with me, angels. And I thank him. I appreciate him for being persistent, consistent, getting on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? All of that because I didn't know what he was doing, but he knew what he was doing. And more importantly, God knew the whole plan. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? God had been putting this thing together for 27 years, but the Bible say it's a verse that, God's thoughts are not our thoughts, his ways not our ways. So just because we think something should be how it is, that ain't how God seeing it. That's not how God planning it out. So I just say, man, I thank the whole Hobart, Gary, the police department, the detectives, even for the work they did 27 years ago. Because if they hadn't did whatever they got back then, it helped now. You know what I'm saying? You can't dig it, unless they dig her up and do, all that type of stuff, which, but so whatever they did then, they had to use some of that to deal with what they did now. So nah, justice is served, man. You could run, but you can't hide. And as my mama say, good for his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Are you prepared for the possibility of during the court process, like some of the details being too much for you to be able to bear?
I mean, I'm prepared because I really know what happened. Like I know, I've been reading the story and for years now. Um, of course, just like I just got a little emotional, earlier in the show. Of course, I'm gonna probably be a little emotional. I don't know. I can't really tell you, how I'm gonna feel or react when I'm, face to face and in that situation. So I don't know. It's a good question, but I don't know.
If you could speak to Jackie right now and have that one last conversation, what would it be?
Thank you, sister. Thank you, my sister. I thank you for saving my life. I thank you for um, just being there, showing me, um, just always supporting me, you know. And look at me now, your 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 work, your efforts wasn't in vain, you know. Your brother, your brother has made something of himself, and you know, uh, and gave the world a beautiful, baby girl, and uh, and I dedicate her to you. She's for you. It's my little version of you. So um, yeah, I thank my sister. I love her to death, and you know, you gonna always be with me, always. This
When the world hit
this
Jackie,
little tattoo right here, it got it with my sister. You know what I'm saying? That's Jack. So every time I look at that, it's her.
when the world hit Jackie name now, what would you like for them to remember?
Um, that she was a sweetheart, that she was a boss, that she was, kind, would do anything for you, but she would also, kick your ass too. You know what I'm saying? she, so people knew not to mess with her. Like she was well respected by, you know, the players in the game, I should say. Well respected. And I carry myself the same way I watched her operate, do business. I've seen how she moved. That's what a lot of my business acumen comes from watching my sister, you know, seeing her being a lady, seeing her be, stern. I'm probably still not as stern as her. I'm a little, you know what I'm saying? But, but I seen her do business and operate. And yeah, she would have been, a great CEO. She'd have been right with me for sure.
Well, as usual, when it comes to faith, family, and foundation, what order would they come in your life? What will come first? What will come second? And what will come last? I don't know if you think they changed any since the first time you came on the show.
Mm,
I don't remember what you said last time.
oh yeah, well,
You came in season one. You were
it,
still young, YN in it. You were still YN in it a little bit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
This probably brought this. You probably went through a little growth spurt. What?
Yeah, I got some more whiskers now. My whiskers a little longer now. I ain't yeah,
What
uh
order do you think they come in your life?
faith number one. That's just off
Mhm.
the top. Family, number two. And then everything else come after that. Foundation. You
Foundation.
know, I
That's
gotta
what's up.
yeah, faith. Yeah.
That's what's up. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you for thank you for sharing your story with me, for trusting me with your story. Like soon as it hit the Gary Webb page, and soon as I was like, oh my God. I was like, you feel like sharing? You was like, I don't know, sis. I don't know. I'm like, come on. Come on. If you decide to, please trust with me with it. And I thank you. I thank you so much for trusting me with it. um, and if you don't mind, when it's ready to go to trial, I would love to bring it from the docket to the people, from the courtroom to the people. Every
Yeah, I trust you with everything. You my sister, so
day by
so,
day by day. I only
you
bring
know,
the people what's on the docket.
yeah.
And I would love to give them a play by play from what happens in the courtroom to the sentencing phase
It, it,
of
it
of the
it's
trial.
it's so crazy because now I'm watching bits and pieces of the Tupac murder. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So just so happened now, you know, my sister got justice, and now all these years later,
Years later,
here comes
pop.
Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, it's just, thank God for technology, solving these crimes and people coming forward and
I'm like, I'm all over the place. I'm like Carmelo Anthony, Tupac, Yellow Beezy coming up, Dirk. I'm like
Lil
all
Durk.
over.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
telling my
yeah,
professor, like, baby, don't assign me to name another one. It's too many of them going on at one time. These
yeah,
cases got the domino effect. I'm like tapped out my brain. I'm
yeah,
like scattered brain right now, like. But I
yeah.
appreciate you. I appreciate you so much for trusting me with this.
Yeah.
The more I get involved in these cases, the more I know I'm ready to litigate.
Come on, lawfully winner.
I look forward to it.
Appreciate
Y'all,
you doing
stay
what you
tuned,
doing.
y'all.
Appreciate you. Straight up.
Stay
Appreciate
tuned, y'all. Love y'all enough to keep my ears to the streets this year. So I'm busy bringing y'all real cases and real support. Stay tuned next week as I think Kimberly gets in the hot seat as she shares her life story right here on Simply Winter in the podcast. I'm Winter, and as usual, I'm back.
You will mend my brokenness. Yeah. To fix your needs. Talking to the moon.